Over 5,000 people are feared dead in Uttarakhand floods, and even as the rescue operations across the state are being affected due to bad weather, around 200 people remain stranded across Gobind Ghat and have been rescued. But 500 people are still stranded in this region and over 7,000 people are stranded in Badrinath. We have Tripti as well as Aishwarya now joining us live this morning. Aishwarya, coming to you first, tell us about the latest situation.
Well, as of now, we are at the Gocha Forward Air Force. You could see the Air Force choppers right there. So they are keeping on standby, and we are directly going to go to the IAF flyboys who are here and try and get the information hands-on from them. First, we are going to go to Wing Commander Puri, the Chief Engineer of the Air Force here. Sir, you are taking charge of the choppers here. What are the special considerations you are keeping in mind before your choppers go up in these heli terrains, sir?
Yeah, as I told you initially, that the choppers are actually flying on a very high, places, and the margins are very less. So what we have to do is we have to take additional checks on all the helicopters. Before they fly, we are very careful about any of the leaks or any problems with the helicopter, and once they land back, we put additional checks on every kind of thing, which in fact is not mentioned also, but we take a lot of interest.
Special considerations, isn't it, Wing Commander Puri? Sir, if I could ask you, keeping in mind the weather right now, how soon do you really feel that your choppers could really go in and bring back the people who are stranded back here?
We're just waiting. The aircrafts are ready, and as you can see, all the pilots are ready here for flying. The moment we feel that the weather gets slightly better, we'll be going for flying.
So your ALH and the cheetahs, which the Air Force has here, so they have the capability to land at most treacherous places. But do you feel that in this foggy and this cloudy weather which is prevailing high up, and especially in the Kedarnath Valley, you guys would be able to go and bring all of these people who are stranded there, sir?
Like Wing Commander Umrao just mentioned, we're just waiting a little bit because we're in touch with the Para Commando Battalion which we have deployed at Jungle Chhatri area. They are telling us about the weather all the time. The moment they tell us that the cloud is lifted a little bit, we would be able to approach and land. Because if you get into a cloud, you cannot see outside, and you would not know how much you're clear from the hill. So for us to lose a helicopter at this time, which because of bad weather, it will be foolish, and that is a chance we cannot take, because that same helicopter could save hundreds of lives. So we'd rather wait a little bit and get them out as soon as the weather clears.
Get them out. Sir, one last question, sir. How many people, what's the intel which you guys are getting? Because you guys have your intel unit as well there. How many people do you still feel are stranded? Because we were at Kedarnath yesterday. We were seeing that there are still people at remotest possible areas trying to wave their hands, trying to inform your sorties, your pilots whom you have been taking on. So how many people do you feel, sir, who are still stranded there? Any information you're getting?
See, we are generally operating in Kedarnath Valley since 3-4 days. And from the lower helipads or lower landing zones, we have almost cleared completely. Except a few places which are left are at the top, Bhairav Ghati and Kedarnath in specific. And as our estimation is, as per whatever information we are getting, is that something around 200 to 300 people may be stranded as of now.
200 to 230 people. If I could come to you, sir. Sir, as 200 to 300 people are still stranded, you feel that your ALH and the cheetahs would be able to get maximum of them out today, keeping in mind the weather?
Yes, weather is a big factor, but definitely, if it clears, we will definitely get them out. And we'll make every possible attempt to get them out. So
there are two kinds of ALH here, Mark 1 and Mark 3. How many people can you get in on board on these specific choppers?
Mark 3 is a better suited helicopter for high altitude operations. So it can carry more passengers, but depending on fuel, maybe 7 to 10 people.
7 to 10 people?
Yes.
So keeping in mind 200 to 300 people, that's the kind of estimate which is coming in. So you'll still need at least 20 to 30 ferries or these sorties to go in and out of these areas, isn't it, sir?
Approximately that much. At least half a day to 1 day's work it requires to get those people out.
Half a day to 1 day's work. That's the word coming from the flyboys themselves. All of these pilots are ready to take off from here as soon as they get a clearance from the Met Department. They have their para team, they have their intel team higher up in the hilly areas, whether it's Guptkashi, Gaurikund, but they are all ready to fly as soon as they get the information, as soon as they get the clearance. We have with us Wing Commander Pathak now. Sir, if I could come to you directly, we have been talking to all of your colleagues, to all of the fellow Wing Commanders. So the information which is coming in that there's still 200 to 300 people stranded higher up in the hills. Keeping in mind the weather, still 20 to 30 sorties would need to go from here and then bring them back. It seems highly unlikely today, isn't it, keeping in mind the weather, sir?
At this point in time, yes, the weather is posing to be an impediment. However, we expect, we expect the weather to clear up in an hour or so, and thereafter we'll launch the way we launched yesterday.
So, sir, one after another, your ALH and your cheetahs will just go and bring those people, because there's still people in the remotest possible areas up there who have to be rescued, isn't it?
They will be rescued.
They will be rescued. So that's the kind of confidence there is in the Indian Air Force and the Indian Army. All of them just ready, waiting for a clearance from the weather department, but it's cloudy and foggy still. So all of them just waiting for one thumbs up from their Met department. And as soon as they get that, they will take their ALH and their cheetahs up and bring all of those people who are stranded back at Gocha. Back to you.
Today the weather is not very good in Badrinath and Kedarnath axis, and air operations have not started. In Harshil sector, operations have started. 3 sorties have already taken off. Evacuation has started. Kedarnath, very few people are left. About 40 persons are there at Kedarnath, mostly sadhus. Bhairavkund also 25 locals are there. At night they had gone back to their houses. They were not available there. Jungle Chatti has been cleared. Bhairav Chatti, there are about 150 people, but because of bad weather, we are unable to evacuate them. As soon as the weather clears, within 2 hours, we'll be able to evacuate all these 250 people or so. Badrinath, we took out about 1,800 people yesterday from Badrinath, Hemkund axis, Gagaria axis on foot. And once the air operations start, I think the evacuation will be faster. Thank you.
Right, going back to Tripti again. Tripti, yes, you were giving us more details about the latest rescue operations that are currently underway.
Yes, I was saying that bad weather had halted rescue operations yesterday. It started off only at around 11 o'clock. So few people were rescued as compared to the previous days. Around 800 people by air were rescued yesterday. Even today, the choppers are waiting. The pilots here are waiting for the weather to clear so that they can fly these birds and get back as many people as possible. Remember, in Badrinath, around 5,000 to 6,000 people are still stranded. So while air rescue operations have been halted, rescue by ground is on in full swing. Hundreds of people have been coming down the mountain slopes with the help of the army and the ITBP personnel who are present, who are helping bring them down. There are also tents that have been pitched for people to stay back at night en route. There is a good supply of food as well as other essentials. In the morning today, we know that around 50 Jawans packed with backpacks full of food and other relief material have walked up the trail so that they can give these materials to people who've been stranded en route. So as of now, rescue operations by foot is on in full swing. Even today in the morning, around 500 people have already left for the downward locations from Badrinath. So at this point of time, the entire focus is on Badrinath, and the pilots here only waiting for the weather to clear so that air rescue operations can resume. And if weather permits, if weather remains the same, most likely in another 3 days, almost everybody from Badrinath will be rescued. And of course, combing operations will be on to ensure that nobody has been left behind in all the other places.